ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, X-Wing players, and anyone who is potentially interested in X-Wing or other Star Wars games. Welcome to our channel. This is a channel that is dedicated to games inside the Star Wars universe. My call sign is BatMando. If you are new to X-Wing, then this is the channel to watch. And if you are getting into 2.5, then this is the place to be. Welcome to our Star Wars X-Wing community. If you are a brand new player to this game, then we just wanted to let you know that there are always plenty of pilots that are willing to help you at your local game store. There are plenty of veteran pilots out there that are willing to give you advice, insights, and strategies. But if you need more, that is what this channel is here for. This is our video series that we call Starfighter Orientation, where we smuggle all of the inside information that we can about every ship in the game. Even if you do not fly the faction of the ship that we are talking about in this video, it may be extremely useful to know all of its stats, actions, tactics, and top pilots. So, now, without any code clearance, I turn you over to your instructor. Best of luck to you, pilot.
Hello, my name is Levi. I go by the call sign Obi-Win, and I will be presenting today's ship. I am based out of Fort Worth, Texas, and I play with Maverick Squadron down there, and I also have had the privilege of playing for Team USA in the 2023 XTC. So, very excited to be with y'all here and join in on the Starfighter Orientation. Today, our ship will be the modified YT-1300 light freighter, more commonly known as the Millennium Falcon, as seen in the original trilogy, flown by Han Solo and his co-pilot Chewbacca. It is probably one of the most iconic ships in all of Star Wars, if not the most iconic. And it has become one of my favorite in the game of X-Wing. I flew it a lot in 2023 competitively, so I really got to get familiar with it and just really enjoyed what this ship can do. So looking at some of the stats here, we've got a pretty basic dial. We've got all the 2-speed options, the 3-speed options, no hard ones because it is a large base ship, so it's 4 times the size of a small base ship, so can't quite turn on a dime, at least not this large base. And then, of course, it's got a 4K, and then the 3 sloops, which are something to look for because they can really catch your opponent off guard with such a big ship, just kind of getting turned around very quickly with those. And then another thing to note about the dial is that the 1 banks are not blue. Usually you'd think with a bigger ship like this, most of them, they would be blue. So make sure you're paying attention to that when you're trying to dial in a blue move and clear some stress. Now for the other ship stats, we have a generic pilot card here, the Outer Rim Smuggler. It has a 3 red dice primary, and something that a few ships in X-Wing have, but not a whole lot, is the Falcon's primary attack arc is a turret. It is a double turret. We often call it a bow tie turret because when you're looking at a ship's base, you've got the 4 quadrants, you've got a front, back, and left and right. And so the Falcon's turret is pointed either front and back at the same time or side to side at the same time. So it really gives the ship a lot of flexibility. As it has a 180-degree arc, but can be pointed in whichever direction you are trying to fly it in. So it's very useful once you kind of start to get the feel of it as you're flying it. Of course, it has 1 defense dice because it's a little bit bigger size, but it makes up for that by having 8 hull and 5 shields, which is a lot of health and can usually get you through a whole game, unless you get into a real jam. And then its action bar, we've got the focus and target lock. That's pretty standard on a lot of ships. And then I'm going to skip the boost for a second and then just go to that last one, is the rotate turret. So you just spend an action to rotate your turret. If let's say you had it side to side and you realize, oh, I really need it front and back so I can get a shot, then you can just spend your action to do that. But the boost here, the red boost, is a really fantastic um, action on this ship, just because it is a large base, so it can already move very quickly across the board just because of its size. But throwing the boost on there means that this ship can really move if it wants to. And kind of a list building note, engine upgrade is a fantastic upgrade on this ship because then you can do it without stressing yourself with the red action. So that's something I'll talk about a little more in a minute here. Yeah, so tactics. This ship has a couple of things it likes to do and wants to do. From a list building perspective, it can really be a heavy hitter. Its 3 green dice means that it's ready to fight, and there's upgrades that the rebels can take, such as the gunner upgrade Bistan, which is a character from Rogue One, and he can allow a turret gun to shoot twice, and there's some conditions on it, but it's really an open, one of the best double tapping upgrades for turrets that there is out there. Of course, the Falcon also has crew slots, and there are a lot of very supportive Rebel crew upgrades that can be put in the Falcon as well. So it's kind of like how you want to build it. You can build it to be a little more offensively inclined, or a little more supportive, or a little bit of both. It's really up to you on how you want your Falcon to fly. So I was talking kind of about how the boost and the turret arc really help with what the Falcon wants to do. So one of the things that's really great about the Falcon is it can just kind of circle around the action and still have shots if your turret is out the side. So, for instance, these are some pictures from a tournament game I had in 2023, playing a good friend of mine. It was a very close game, a lot of fun. But you'll notice on turn 1 there, I did a 4 straight boost, and I am already halfway across the board. And now my opponent has a choice to make. Do they want to try to turn in on the Falcon, or maybe like kind of keep going with their original plan? And then if you look at turn 2, I did another 4 straight boost. Go ahead and just ignore the fact that poor Keo over there got obliterated, because that was not a great decision. But as you can see, the Falcon's kind of coming around. Like in 2 turns, the Falcon has made it all the way across the board with that boost. And with the turret out the side, if you look on turn 3, I continue to come around and make full circle, and now the Falcon is completely behind the list and is able to just, if you look at turns, I have 4 and 5 switched, sorry about that, but he's continues to come around and is able to just kind of pester the list from behind and be able to move into that position very quickly, and just really give your opponent something to think about. And that's a really the great combination of this ship, having the turret out the sides and then the boost action to really get to where you need to be. So some of the top pilots, obviously with such an iconic ship, you have to have iconic pilots. Honorable mention to Chewbacca here. He is also a pilot for the Falcon, but of course he's a little bit lower initiative. The pilot ability is a little more on the defensive side, so I had to cut somebody from the list. But in first place we have Han Solo there, followed by Lando Calrissian and Leia Organa, all of whom we can see pilot the Falcon at some point during the original trilogy. Now, Han is probably one of my favorite pilots. I flew him a lot in 2023, did a lot of tournaments, had some highs and lows with him, but he is just absolutely great as an offensive juggernaut. He is an Initiative 6, so he is doing his best to always shoot first, which is very thematic. And his ability there is, after you roll dice, if you're at range 0 to 1 of an obstacle, you may reroll all your dice. This does not count as rerolling for the purpose of other effects. So, if you give him a focus and you get a bad roll, and he's by an obstacle, you just reroll the whole thing and hope for better. And this is also neat because it works for defense, and for if you run over an obstacle, for some of the bombs that roll dice. Just literally, if Han is rolling dice, he gets to reroll it, assuming he's by obstacles. So this is it's a great ability, can really help your offense, and then also help you out in some other situations. And next we have Lando Calrissian. He is an I-5, so still a higher initiative, and he has one of the best support abilities in the game. After you fully execute a blue maneuver, you may choose a friendly ship at range 0 to 3. That ship may perform an action, so he can give it to himself because he is a friendly ship that is at range 0 of himself, or he can give it to someone else who might need it. And this is really neat because there's a crew card, Neen Nub, which, if you recognize the name, you'll know that that was Lando's co-pilot in the Battle of the Second Death Star, and that the ability from that card gives the ship extra blue moves. So Lando can really just be hopping around the board. He can give himself an extra action if he needs it, give it to a friend if they're in a tough spot. It's the perfect mix of, do you want to give him a focus and a target lock so you have double mods on Lando's attack, or do you want to help someone else? So that perfect mix between offense and support, like I was mentioning earlier. And both of these pilots can be found in the Millennium Falcon expansion pack, and then of course Chewbacca can as well. Gotta remember Chewbacca. Lastly, we have Leia Organa, and her pilot card comes in the Hotshots and Aces reinforcement pack, the first one. And she has a really interesting ability. She comes with a force, and hers says, after a friendly ship executes a red maneuver, if it's at range 0 to 3, you may spend a force. If you do, that ship gains 1 focus token or recovers a force. And so this is really good if you're in a pickle and you really need to get turned around, but you really need the token so you can mod. Leia is a perfect, again, kind of can be offensive herself while she gets turned around with a red move, or can help someone else who is really in need of that mod. So these 3 pilots just have absolutely amazing abilities, and I highly recommend trying all of them. I know I have. I've brought all 3 of them to tournaments just because they're so good. They're just able to help themselves or help others. Or well, not Han. He just helps himself, but that's thematic. So. So that is the modified YT 1300 light freighter. Thank you so much for watching. I know it's when I first started playing X-wing, I kind of shied away from it because of its size, but then once I started using it, I realized that that kind of ship you can really go in and just bully people, and if you don't get into too big of a jam, you're able to just kind of just continue on and not worry about it. So. I really enjoy this ship, and I hope that you can get it on the table. All right, Levi Obi-Win out.
All right, thank you so much for all that useful information. If there was anything that you were unclear of during the video, we always provide these links in every video description of every video that we produce, and that is all the links to AMG, the community sites. We have a fandom for questions about ships, and then if you have questions about strategies or various other things, definitely check out the community hub. We're also going to tell you that we provide you links to all the list builders that we recommend, and with that being said, hopefully this helped you out. So if it did, help us out by clicking like on the videos that you like, and we know what more videos to create more of. Please make sure to subscribe to our future transmissions and get your friends to also subscribe as well, because we always need new pilots. That being said, thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram or friend us on Facebook. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below so that other people can see the questions and learn from them just like you. All right, so thank you to Slides Go, Flat Icon, Free Pick for the use of their media in our presentation. And as always, BatMando out.